successful electrical contractor. But you plus a dedicated team supporting your project from day one, that's taking your productivity to the next level. And Graybar can help you get there. Your relationships plus our relationships. Your capabilities plus our job site services. Your challenges plus our technical specialists. You alone can get the job done. But you plus Graybar, that's smart business. Yep, Graybar does that.
This is the Verizon Extra Innings Show. Verizon, the most reliable 5G in St. Louis.
The 3-2 with the runners going, swung on it and drive to right field. But right there is Nootbaar, and that's a Red Bird winner. The Cardinals beat the Dodgers tonight 3-2, and it's fitting that Nootbaar made the catch on the last out after that sensational diving play to retire Mookie Betts for the first out in the ninth inning.
That was a lot of fun to be listening to be watching. A good win for the Cardinals tonight. A tight game all the way around. No team ever led by more than one run. And the Cardinals come away. They make some big plays late, and they come away with the 3-2 victory this evening. Welcome in to the Extra Innings Show right here on KMOX. It is great to have you with us tonight. The Extra Innings Show, it is being brought to you, as always, by our great friends at Graybar. Graybar is your distributor for electrical and datacom needs. Here's how you get in contact with the show. You can call or text at 314-436-7900, 314-436-7900. Again, that's calling, that's texting. You can tweet at me if you'd like, at Matt Pauley on air, MattPauley on air. Or for those of you who are watching the video stream, which you can find on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, you can just go ahead and leave a comment in the chat, and that will come right to us, and we can address those as we go along through, I was saying in the night, through the morning at this point, as it is 12:19 a.m. right now here in St. Louis, and we are talking Cardinals baseball. I always mention this when we're on in the middle of the night because of the power of 11:20 a.m. where you can hear us across the entire country. If you are outside of the St. Louis area and you are listening to us right now on 11:20, feel free to drop us a text message at 314-436-7900, 314-436-7900. Just tell me where you are listening from. I always get a kick out of seeing where we are getting to with 11:20 a.m. Of course, in St. Louis, the best signal is 104.1 FM. It sounds awesome, and multiple ways to listen to us, whether it's the Odyssey app, whether it's just a bunch of different places, and, of course, watching us on the video stream. So at this point in the year where bluntly expectations are low in terms of this team winning like a lot of games and making some sort of playoff run, not that that's impossible, but it seems highly, highly, highly unlikely. I think it's going to be important. It's important, at least for me. I'm not trying to tell you how to be a fan, but I'll say this for me as somebody who's talking about this team every day. It's important to enjoy the good moments, because we're not sure if there's going to be as many good moments as we would like. And I found myself just thoroughly enjoying watching this baseball game being played tonight. Were there some issues in this game? And look, here's some of the text messages that we have already gotten in. Somebody texted, great game, but way too many strikeouts. Another person was really, really frustrated with Victor Scott's inability to get a bunt down there when he tried late in the game. So people are looking at the negative, and not just there's other stuff coming in. Like I'm not trying to beat up on those folks. But what I'm going to do, because I think this is a fantastic win. I think this was an awesome win for this team, and I really, really appreciated what it meant to them. And you're saying, Matt, how do you know what it meant to them? Because I saw it with my eyes, and I saw Lars Nootbaar and his reaction when he made that catch in the ninth inning. I saw Lars Nootbaar again in his reaction when he made what was the final catch of the night, and I saw Jojo Romero's reaction to that exact same play. This meant something to them, and they're not giving up. They're not throwing it away. They're not doing any of these things. They're not as good as a lot of teams in baseball, and they're even less good since the trade deadline, where they lost some really important pieces out of their bullpen. but that doesn't mean they're a bad baseball team. That doesn't mean they're not a fun baseball team. That doesn't mean they're not an entertaining baseball team. And if you were not entertained by this game tonight, I don't have much for you. I don't. Sonny Gray was awesome. 7 innings, 1 run, 1 hit, 8 strikeouts, 1 walk. And you think about Ivan Herrera's home run, Mason Wynn's home run, even somebody like Garrett Hampson coming in as a pinch runner and going first to third. He makes an impact on the game. Thomas Ajaysi had a heck of a play defensively over at third base. Mason Wynn had a good play today. Brendan Donovan had, even going 0 for 4 in this game, Donovan made a nice play at second base. Obviously, Joel Pozo. I mean, come on. This is, for him to have as many big moments as he has, a guy who was signed by, so late, just to be a veteran backup at AAA to Jimmy Crooks. That was his role. He was going to come in and be the veteran backup at Memphis to Jimmy Crooks. And then there was an injury at the big league level, and the Cardinals were not yet comfortable with giving Crooks a major league opportunity. So Pozo comes up. You don't think much, and he has just continued to perform at a high level, so much so that he's forcing his way into the lineup more often. He really, really is. Let's grab some of the messages that are starting to come in. Sam says, what a job by Sonny Gray after 3 not-so-sunny starts. Yeah, I don't know what it is. Let me bring up these splits, because the splits are really interesting, and it's over multiple years. For whatever reason, Sonny Gray in the month of July is not good. And maybe that's the hottest month. Maybe that's part of it. So over his career, Sonny Gray's July ERA is 4.19. His August ERA is 2.78. If we look just at last year, his July ERA was 6.75. His August ERA was 4.50. Obviously, small August sample size now, but in this year, he had a July ERA of 7.81, and his August ERA with his 7 innings and 1 run, 1.29 ERA. I can't explain it. But it's not this random thing, because it's happening year in and year out. We can go through the exercise that I just did of going year by year by year and looking at the splits, and you're going to see many of those years, his July isn't very good and his August is great. So lucky for all parties involved, the calendar just recently turned a few days ago, and he's August sunny, I guess you can say. Henry sends in a message. Best win of the season. Only 5.5 games. Padres lost. Cubs lost. Today was a masterclass by Sonny Gray. He is now 11-5. He didn't get the win tonight, by the way. Henry, he did not factor into the decision. So that's not completely true. Says a massive win for this club. This team will not mail it in this season. Yeah, the win went to Riley O'Brien. He's charged with the blown save and the win because the tying run scored against O'Brien. So Gray doesn't get the victory tonight, Henry. But that doesn't take anything away from his performance. I'm not worried about his wins. The only thing that's kind of cool about the wins and losses at this point for Sonny is he is really close to the National League lead in that category. So I like it for that standpoint, but overall, not something that I'm overly worried about. I love the optimism. Again, I'm not saying the door is closed to the playoffs. The door is closed to the NL Central. They're 12 games back in the Central. That door is shut. I'm not talking about that. I'll entertain some thoughts of whether or not they can make a run in the wild card if they play some really good baseball, because like Henry said, 5.5 back, that's not insurmountable. They got to jump over Cincinnati as well. They're 2.5 back of the Reds. So actually, Henry, the Cubs losing today actually hurt the Cardinals more than it helped them, because it was Cincinnati who beat them. So as much as it pains Cardinals fans, if you're worried about them miraculously getting into the postseason, you got to be a Cubs fan against the Reds, unfortunately. So, yeah. But Henry, I love the optimism. I don't quite share it quite yet. That's why right now I'm just taking the moments as being good. And got a message on the stream. This win really doesn't matter. The season is over. And I know a lot of fans feel that way. Every game matters. It's Major League Baseball. It's a Major League Baseball game. These games matter for different reasons. Does it matter in terms of this team making a legitimate playoff run? Probably not. Again, that door likely closed, not completely closed off yet. But I would always push back on the idea that games don't matter. It's Major League Baseball. Every single game matters for some reason or not. Really interesting question here. What catcher is going to be back in 2026? Crooks and Bernal are knocking on the door. Yeah, the Cardinals are going to have some decisions to make when it comes to their catching. I don't think Ivan Herrera is going to return to catching. They've got him out in left field a lot. I don't think he is a future catcher. So, and the Cardinals are so rich in catching. Now, Pozo, even though he's a free agent signing, he doesn't have the big league service time, so he's still pre-arbitration. So you have full rights on Pozo. Crooks is at AAA. He's had a nice season, not a great season. Bernal is at AA. He has had a fantastic season. It's a good problem to have. I don't know how it's all going to play out. At some point in time, I would think Pedro Pajes would probably be more of a backup type catcher if Crooks and Bernal do what you expect them to do moving forward. But that might be a little bit down the line. Lori sends in a message, says it was an awesome game tonight. Lori, I agree 100%. Text message comes in from the 720 in Denver. Says, terrific pinch hit by big, sexy Joel Pozo. Terrific to see Newt contribute with a hit and a great game-saving catch. Yeah, I mentioned these numbers on the network postgame. Shout out to our good friend Ethan Hannaford, who's part of the Odyssey family and also does stuff over at STL Sports Central. He went and got the StatCast data from the Lars Nootbaar catch and tweeted it out, so that's where I saw it. Nootbaar on that play, 116 feet covered. 116 feet covered. His sprint speed got to 29.3 feet per second. That was his fastest sprint speed of the year, and it was a catch that was not expected to be made. 30% catch probability. That was fantastic. I've used that word a lot. When the Cardinals and individuals have a good night, you're going to notice I use the word fantastic a lot, and that is there was a lot of that tonight. Text message from the 618 asking if I think Matthew Liberatore is a legit starter. I do. I'm really pleased by what we have seen so far this year from him, and I think he's going to continue to get better. Not to lower expectations because he's looked okay lately. I'm not worried about what he looks from here to the end of the season. I think he's hit a bit of a wall. You're pushing him further than you've ever pushed him before. We've seen what he can be, get the most out of him over the final 2 months of the year, and then go from there. If you want to join us, you can do so by texting or calling 314-436-7900, 314-436-7900. You can tweet at me at Matt Pauley on air, MattPauley on air, or by leaving a message on the video chat. And yeah, like I said, if you want to text in like the individual from Denver did, tell us where you're listening on 11:20 a.m. across the country, feel free to do that as well. And we always enjoy those messages coming in. 3-2, Cardinals get the win over the Dodgers. This is the Extra Innings Show presented by Gray Bar. Gray Bar is your distributor for electrical and datacom needs. More in a moment on KMOX.
When you own a business, you know there's no shortage of bold moments. At VOS, we're here to help you meet those moments in stride. Whether it's reducing your exposure to check fraud, setting up direct deposit, or helping make credit card processing seamless, VOS is here for you, your employees, and your customers. Are you ready for a better banking experience? Then make the bold move and switch to VOS today. Visit bankwithvos.com. Member FDIC.
There's a big red barn where you say green, Norm's Bargain Barn. On discount windows, doors, and things, Norm's Bargain Barn.
Hi, I'm Norm Wilkie. Come see my new selection of Amish cabinetry made by my good Amish friends at Countrywood Products. We now stock 5 styles of cabinetry for you to choose from.
When you need to save on discount windows, doors, and cabinetry, come to Norm's Bargain Barn. With locations in Shiloh and Fenton at the bottom of Gravois Bluffs. Visit normsbargainbarn.com.
That's normsbargainbarn.com.
You might know Graybar for cable and connectivity, but there's one more thing you should know us for that can help optimize your project's total value, like our comprehensive electronic solutions for security, AV, wireless, and networking, or our specialized job site services, like material staging and kitting, or maybe our logistics specialists who can help you identify efficiencies and ensure just-in-time delivery. So consider what one more thing you may need to optimize your bottom line and get to know us for that. Yep, Graybar does that.
Now, back to the Verizon Extra Innings Show.
We are back taking you through now the overnight hours, 12:33 in the morning after the Cardinals pick up a win against the Dodgers tonight. This is the Extra Innings Show presented by Graybar. Graybar, your distributor for electrical and datacom needs. Justin sends in a message saying the offense has got to be better at the plate at not striking out. Strikeouts have been high lately. I will. Yesterday was really, really tough. And then tonight, not just out of the world terrible, but not good. They had 9 strikeouts tonight. I'm not somebody who thinks strikeouts are the end all be all worst thing in the world. But at some point they start to accumulate to a point that it is more than you want, and it feels like they've been in that area. Got a tweet coming in from Springfield, Missouri. Said, "Fun win. Well, all wins are fun, but as a fan, I needed this." Yeah, you want to have good moments even in years that are not going the way you would like it to go, and tonight was a good win. And it's really tough for some people, and I understand why. This is not a criticism. I'm not being critical of these people. But I think it is, at times it can be challenging to do what I said earlier of putting off to the side what's going on in the season and just sitting back and enjoying 2.5 hours of fun, entertaining baseball. If you are having a hard time doing that, and understandably so, I'm going to sound like a psychologist here. I would encourage you to figure out how to do that, because you wouldn't be listening to this show in all likelihood if you did not love baseball. So tonight was a great baseball game. It was a fun baseball game, tight all the way around. I was intrigued by what was going to happen with the bullpen. Riley O'Brien comes in. I didn't think O'Brien pitched poorly, gave up the leadoff double, and then got some outs after that, but the outs moved the base runner around, and the Dodgers end up tying it. That's just one of those classic leadoff doubles. He got on, get him around, get him in, and that's what they did. Jojo Romero certainly made it interesting, but was facing a really tough part of the Dodgers lineup. Not that any part of it is not tough, but Romero is the left-handed closer. This is one of the situations where that actually played out in a positive way, and they picked up the lefty today from the Marlins, who's going to go to Memphis. And I would think that if he shows something at Memphis, he's going to be in the Cardinals bullpen sooner than later, just so they can have another lefty in there. Sam sends in a message asking who I think the set man is going to be going forward, or the Cardinals going to do it matchup based. Yeah, I think it's going to be more matchups than anything. I think Romero, for the most part, is going to be the 9th inning guy, but I'm also not convinced that he's going to be the always 9th inning guy. If there's a clear lefty lane that's coming up in the 7th or 8th inning, and if you can get through that, there's more righties coming up after that. I could see Ali being a little bit more flexible than he was with Helsley and getting Romero into that spot. And then I think there's a bunch of guys who are going to see in high leverage get those new opportunities that did not exist previously. Matt Swanson, who has put up really good numbers this year. I'm excited to see what he might do in high leverage. Obviously, Kyle Leahy, we've seen that a lot this year. Andre Granillo is somebody that I would be interested to see in high leverage spots as well. And obviously, Jojo Romero was used. So that of the players on the roster right now, I think the guys I would be most comfortable with in high leverage are Romero, O'Brien, Granillo, Swanson, Leahy in no particular order. And then I'm really interested to see what's going to happen with Ryan Fernandez, because we saw last year how good Fernandez can be, and he wasn't that earlier this year. He spent a lot of time at AAA. I think that was done on purpose, especially for a guy who last year was a Rule 5 guy, so he was on the Major League roster all year. And I think you work him with an eye towards trying to get him back as a high leverage reliever before the season comes to an end. What's on Deck, presented by Chesterfield Fence and Deck. The sign you have, the very best. ChesterfieldFence.com. Game 2 of this 3-game series coming up later on today, Tuesday night. Cardinals will have Miles Michaelis on the mound. Hasn't been bad here recently. 6-8, 4.83 ERA. Emmett Sheehan's going to go for the Dodgers. 2-2, 3.60 ERA. That's a 9:10 first pitch. So we once again will be on the air at 8:15. We're going to have another one of these nights where tomorrow, in addition to the Gas House game, I say tomorrow, you know what I'm talking about, Tuesday, later today. I'm just going to say tomorrow. I always say until we are done with this show, the baseball day has not yet ended. So it is still Baseball Monday. Okay, I don't care that it's 12:38 a.m. It is still Baseball Monday until I officially sign off from this show. So tomorrow, Tuesday, we will have Gas House Gang at 12 noon, and that's going to be Oliver Marmol Day, the weekly conversation with the Cardinals manager. So be tuned in as Tom Ackerman and Chris Ranji and Bernie Miklas pepper him with questions, and you've got the opportunity to do that as well, texting in and also sending in messages. Kevin Wheeler and I will have you in the 5 o'clock hour for Redbird Rush Hour. I'll have you 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock for Sports Open Line. I will have you at 8:15 for pregame, and I'll have you around this time for postgame as well. Thanks to John Camp working hard this evening. I'm Matt Pauley, and we will talk to you tomorrow, Tuesday, for more Cardinals baseball right here on KMOX.
This is Tom Ackerman, like an MVP.